Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over the 4 different types of trines in astrology. So this is something that's very rarely talked about. I don't think I've actually heard anybody really talk about it online at all, but you should definitely know this. So when we look at trines, you have to understand trines are things that come in threes, right? When you have 12 zodiac signs, there's groups of 3 that have very big commonalities. That's from element to modality as well. But we're going to talk about elements very specifically today when I talk about trines. Now, when it comes to trines, there's 4 different types of trines with astrology that you guys should definitely know about and consider very important. The trines go as follow. If you have a water sign, and I'm talking specifically today concerning sun signs, because that's where our ego projects. That's where we aim to become overall. So I want to talk about that specifically. So when you're thinking about perspective of what trine am I in, we can definitely use I'd say it's fair to use the sun sign, but you can also classify it with your rising sign as well, as that's like your most natural skill sets the minute you're born. So it depends. The signs and the trines don't change no matter what position it's in. However, for you to describe it to yourself properly, I would say either use it as a sun or rising with what I'm about to discuss with you today. So there's the water signs first. The water signs are considered to be the psychic clairvoyant trine. Now, if you have water as your main element, meaning it's your sun or rising sign, you fall within that trine. Meaning, if it's in the sun sign position, for instance, because I'm going to go into more detail into each of these trines in the future, and then this next week. But if let's say you have the water as your sun or rising, so like you're a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces in nature, cool. If it's sun, that means that you're overall meant to be here to help people. You're meant to be very interpersonal. You're meant to be somebody that brings more so balance, and also be somebody who can have quite a big vision, meaning you can foresee circumstances. So having that, you're meant to follow your intuition quite a bit, but you have a bit of a sixth sense that's pretty undeniable, and you guys have a skill set that allows you to heal other people through different means, whether that be through the medical practice, law enforcement, government, or you go into things such as creative arts, music, and so forth, where you guys can definitely really captivate an audience, but more so it's about you guys healing or more so drawing to a certain emotion with people. Either you help people via trauma, or you're somebody who optimizes people. And I don't mean help people as in traumatize them. I mean, maybe you've been traumatized in the past by something, whether that be physical, mental, emotional, and as a result, you're able to now be that wounded healer that helps people. So as a water sign, typically you guys go through a bit of an experience in the youth that foreshadows your life, and as such you guys end up helping other people through your own trauma. The next one I want to discuss is the I'd say the creative passionate trine, which is the fire trine. The fire trine, you guys should know, is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Like I said, I'm gonna go into a lot more detail on this week, guys. The next 3 days I'll go into each of these trines individually and talk about how it affects you in a more individual level. Today we're just going through a general summary of it so you guys get the picture. So if you're in the fire trine, that means that you're meant to follow a passion of sort. Remember the saying, follow your passion. That follow your passion thing is only really for fire signs. Water people are supposed to follow the sixth sense. I'm going to get into the other 2 after. But people that have fire as their sun or rising, you need to follow your passion in order to achieve success. You're going to have that driving force, that fire within, as they say, right? So you guys can do anything from athleticism to show business to even being a doctor. It doesn't matter. What it really comes down to is, because it's so widespread, it's just whatever gets your heart going, whatever makes you actually feel excited in your stomach when you talk about it. That's where you're going to find the success as a fire sign. Without that sort of excitement or feeling emotion into it, you will not be able to manifest, because the fire is not activated. The other signs do not need this. They actually don't need to follow their passion. That's the funny part. Other signs can be successful without the passion. You guys actually draw into the passion, and that's what gives you the discipline, the perseverance, and the manifestation capability to do things in a very almost mysterious way where it's like, how'd that even happen? How'd they pull that off? You guys are able to do that simply through like force of will, which is just, of course, the trajectory of fire. Just widespread. Nobody should cross you. They'll just get burnt. Next one is the intellectual trine, which is the air trine. I call this one the intellectual innovative trine, and you'll understand more in the week why I say that for sure. But this is, of course, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This is the intellectual. So it's where these people are very good wordsmiths. These people are very innovative. These people are very, very intellectual, but also very much able to use their words to convince people of things. They could be very good salespeople as well. If you have this as a sun or rising, sales positions do well for you. Politics does well for you. Music does good for you guys. Innovation, engineering, anything to do with science, all of those things will do very good for air trine people because it uses the mind. What you should think primarily if you have an air sign, the air doesn't touch anything, right? Think about the element itself. It doesn't even touch anything. It's touching everything, but touching nothing at the same time. You just put your hand through it. You're somebody that's meant to be not physical, but making money through the mental. And you're meant to use your intellectual capacity to benefit mankind. So you understand more when I bring up some noteworthy characters with some of these signs within the trine. You'll see what I'm talking about. But you have to use your intellectual faculty to bring benefit to not only yourself, but mankind as a whole. And then finally, we have the wealth trine. Now, the wealth trine is interesting because that's the earth. The earth is, we always say, materialistic, earthly matters, right? You don't want to be too concerned with the worldly matters. The earth trine is definitely considered to be the wealthiest. We have Taurus there. We got Capricorn. So what you have to understand here, guys, is when you look at a wealth sort of trine, and excuse me, let me leave out Virgo, but like when you look at the wealth trine, it's an interesting one because I'm not saying that they're the richest, but their focus is going to be on that. Meaning you guys are meant to learn a lot things to do with the material world this time. It doesn't actually guarantee that you guys are going to be the richest. It doesn't even mean statistically you guys are the richest right now. There's been the past 20 years where it would seem to be like Taurus and Capricorns were definitely dominating the game quite a bit. We're in the age of Aquarius, so they dominate quite a bit now in the wealth field. But nonetheless, the earth signs are up there always when it comes to making money because they're the most disciplined, most competent, most grounded in reality. They're not very imaginative in a sense. You guys are more so people that are like here in the moment, mindful, what needs to get done, I'll get it done. Very step-by-step procedure type of people. And as a result, you guys get a lot done because of your sort of business natural affinity and just your tenacity towards getting things done as an entrepreneur. So you guys can do very, very well once you have the confidence behind you. Sometimes you guys are overly realistic to a point where you're not being realistic, if that makes sense. Meaning you'll ground yourself too much and you need some of the other signs like water or air or even fire, where it's like you need that passion or some sort of sixth sense to tell you to take that step forward to get that wealth. But those are the trines, guys. So you have a lot to think about before I start my next videos. What trine do you fall under and how does it affect your life? To conclude this, it affects your life because if it's in the sun position, as I said before, it's meant to be the primary focus of your life. If it's in the rising sign position, it's a natural skill set under your belt. So whatever trine you have as a natural skill set, that's what I'd say you'd make the most money with for sure. It's very similar to the expression number in numerology. And then your sun sign is very similar to the life path. It's the road that you're on. It's your ego. It has certain distinctive traits that you have, but it's more so things that you have to learn about. All right. So hope this video does help, guys. I'll be definitely elaborating on this a lot in the next 4 days. Actually, it's going to be 4 days of these videos of different trines. But I hope you guys enjoy. I'll be back soon. Peace.